Y'all, in the next clip, you're going to hear a part in the video where I tell you all that I'm going to end the clip and come back because the neighbor pulled up and there's a lot of noise going on outside. When I come back, instead of starting back at the spot where I left off, I go into another subject that I wanted to talk about, but it's all related to what I was talking about. So you're going to see when you get to that part that I'm talking about a conversation that I had with an older lady this morning that was full of innuendo. And so as I'm telling you some of what she said, I go into details about where I go and I play basketball. And then in the next clip, you hear me, you see me sharing a clip about COINTELPRO and how they used it on Martin Luther King to try to discredit him. So it's relative to what I was talking about with the innuendos that was inserted in the convo. Because again, those innuendos are pushing a false narrative that somehow my basketball skills are not authentic. It's like some sort of spiritual hooba-jooby thing, right? So I know that sounds crazy, but that's really what's going on. They were doing that with the poetry, with the coding when I was trying to become a developer last year. And now it's the basketball. Anytime I go to play basketball, I'm hearing Rev Campaign. They're flying the insect drones in my face and kind of trying to tie it back again to the false narrative about spiritual weird stuff. And really, it's my fault because in my full story, I talked about the fact that I felt like this roommate might have done witchcraft on me. And so to spite me, because bearing false witness has played a contentious role in my targeting, they've thrown a lot of false narratives at me. And so this conversation that you're going to hear about in the next clip with this older lady had innuendos in it. But I just wanted to clarify, that's what happens. I cut off the video because the neighbors pull up and a lot of noise is going on. And then in the next clip, rather than continuing where I left off, I go into showing you a clip about COINTELPRO and how discrediting targets is a tactic that they use. But then I do get back on track and finish telling you about this conversation that I had with this older lady. And finish telling you about the things that were inserted into the conversation. All right, that's all, y'all. I just wanted to let you know and apologize for the disorganization of the video. Peace out. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. This is not going to be the intro. The intro is actually going to be in the next clip, y'all. I made a video already, a 47-minute video, a couple of days ago that I was supposed to upload. Never got around to doing it. And now this morning, when I got off work, some gang stalking activity took place that I want to document and add to that video. So I'm very briefly going to quickly just document what took place this morning, and then I'm going to merge it to the video, the 47-minute video. Let me head over there real quick. So as y'all can see that the 47-minute video is there. So I'm just adding this clip on, and in the next clip, the 47-minute clip, that's where you're going to hear the intro that I typically do on my channel. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the intro again redundantly, since you'll be hearing it in the next clip. I just want to quickly document what took place this morning. And then I'll just merge it to that clip because it's relative. You know, both things are talking about and documenting reactive abuse, discussing reactive abuse, you know, and the objective of gang stalking, right? It's to invoke wrath out of the target and to invoke these heinous responses out of the target. That 25-minute video, y'all, was my first attempt at doing this clip that I'm doing right now. I don't like how it came out, so I'm doing this again. And I'm also trying to make it a lot shorter. That's why I'm talking a little bit fast, if you'll notice. Let me hop over to YouTube real quickly. So yeah, I'm just going to say this real quickly, and I said this in the next clip that you're going to listen to. If you're new to my channel, don't start here. Please make sure that you're up to date with what's going on. Please make sure that you check out my story. Again, in the next clip, I do my typical intro. And in the next clip, I'll discuss where the links are for you to hear my story. And also prior videos I've made so that you're not lost with the things I'm talking about or referencing in this video. Also, if you haven't checked out my part 1 and part 2 reactive abuse videos that I posted 9 days ago, as you can see, then please don't listen to this video, because this video will be referencing some of the things that I discussed in those 2 videos, and like this new narrative that they're trying to spin now with the targeting and with the gang stalking. All right, y'all. So let's talk about what happened this morning. So I got off work this morning around 8 o'clock, y'all. And I had a conversation with this lady, this older lady that I've spoken to before. She seems like a pleasant individual. You know, she's not mean. She's not rude. The last interaction I've had with her, and I've only had 2 interactions with her, she was cordial. You know, I don't really want to say the relation or how I know her, because I am trying to avoid problems. But I had a brief conversation with her before where there were no innuendos in the conversation. She was just very pleasant, very cheery, very gregarious. That was that. Today's interaction, a little bit different. Same demeanor, so same nice, cheerful demeanor. However, she did insert innuendos in the brief conversation that she and I had before I left, right? So she just told me good morning, and she started telling me about some of the things that she saw going on in like the office and the bathroom and things that needed to fix in the office. And she then mentioned, you know, randomly the neighborhood that I play basketball in. Remember, this is a small island, y'all. So it's a small community. Everybody knows everybody for the most part. It's one of those type of things, like literally one of the worst places to be targeted, especially at the high level that my targeting is at. It's just like everyone knows. Literally, I'm using that stimuli that they like to sensitize me to, but literally everyone knows, and everyone, I won't say is involved, but everyone is privy to the cameras that's on me and what's going on with me. It's like this ongoing thing. And you could basically say my life is like the island reality TV show, basically, except I'm not getting paid, and I feel like I'm being exploited because I didn't commit a crime, and this is happening. It's complete, you know, a complete violation of human rights. But anyways, let me continue, y'all. So y'all know the targeting started in 2020, but it didn't go viral until 2022. And in 2022 was also when I discovered that I was a target. Did not know prior to that I was a target. I just thought it was some sort of spiteful retribution because I sent a text that was taken out of context in 2020. Again, referencing things you should already be up to date with. This will sound like foreign info if you have not checked out my story and my prior videos. I'm not saying you need to watch all the videos on my channel. I have 136 videos, but at least check out one of the videos where I tell my story and some of these recent videos, so again, you can be familiar with the things I'm referencing and the false accusations that have been thrown against me, because it's just, it's gone from one thing to the next. You know, it started out being this weird thing that was created from the text message I sent, and it didn't really get really weird and creepy until I tried to relocate off island and the targeting went viral. And then I started dealing with the technological aspect of targeting. My targeting went up to a higher level. Neuromonitoring started to get involved. The utilization of AI shadow networking software started being involved. You know, these are all terms I've referenced in prior videos, y'all. And that was how things started to take an ominous turn. When I got back on island, not only were they pushing the false narrative that was created from the text message, but then they started pushing all these other heinous things too. Like, with the stuff that, let them tell it, I'm like the worst thing walking on earth with all of these false accusations they're throwing at me. It's crazy. Anyway, so this morning, getting back to the point, because it's not a tangent, it is a tangent that I just went off on, but a relative one. So anyways, with the innuendo, you know, she said, she just randomly brought up the basketball court, the neighborhood. Look, the fly keeps flying by every time I talk about this. Anyway, the lady just randomly brought up the name of the neighborhood where I go and play basketball in. And I recently talked about my basketball, y'all. Check out that, not the last video I posted, not the taking down the cyberbullying and cyber stalking video. Check out the targeted individual gang stalking documentation video, where the thumbnail says, "Stop gang stalking me." In that video, I shared a checklist with you all, right, that another fellow target shared, one that got smart and realized how the program works and realized how to navigate through it until you get out. And on that checklist, you can see that one of the things you can do to stay upbeat and healthy and to survive what's happening to you is to work out, physical activity, which is what I've been doing, and finding hobbies to keep you occupied and busy. For me, most of my hobbies include physical activity because I've always been an athletic female. The other hobbies, the mental hobbies that I like reading, etc., those things feel uncomfortable for me because they're listening to my thoughts and because of the neuromonitoring. I've talked about this in prior videos, y'all. I have a Kindle full of books. I don't feel comfortable reading them. I've tried several times to read my books, y'all, in my head. You know how they do with the technology, right? You're going to, like I said in the next clip, I'm going to share info with you on where you can find the links to info about the technology used on targets, etc., etc. But with the technology, you know how they project your thoughts. It's called neuromonitoring, and they're listening in real time to everything you're thinking. It's like such a creepy program. They're staring at you 24/7. It's so invasive. They're injecting your body with foreign technology that you didn't consent to. They're listening to your thoughts. They're making noises to torment you when you're thinking. You know, it's really a ominous, you know, this is the type of program that you would use on the worst of criminals, not on an innocent civilian that you find annoying. Anyway, so with the books that I have, every time I would try to read them last year, they're revving by when I get to certain parts. You can imagine it's romance novels, most of the books that I like to read, not all of them. But when I get to certain parts of the novel, they're speeding by, so I'm feeling like a child and like I have to fast forward or not read a certain part of my novel. Now, I've seen some targets that had me rolling when I was on, what's the thing called? My God, Quora. Quroa, or I think it's how it's spelled, however it's spelled, Quora. You know that forum where you can put up blog posts and get feedback from different people? I saw some targets on there that said they purposely watch inappropriate things or read inappropriate things to spite the gang stalkers because you're not going to stop them from living and treat them like they can't watch or read certain things. But I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm in a small community. I used to be a teacher. Like, there's just certain things I'm not going to do and lines I'm not going to cross. But it is irritating when you feel like you have to filter things and act like a child because they're listening. It's so irritating. Anyways, give me a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. I'm going to stop this clip and start again. I have to run to the bathroom. Anyways, y'all. So yeah, for me, just long story short, the main hobbies that I find myself doing are physical activities. Reading books. Not reading books, excuse me. Sorry, I was hitting an insect drone. I'm sure y'all heard that loud noise, and that's why I got distracted. But physical activity, working out, going to the gym, cardio. I jog in the neighborhood on Sundays. I go to the basketball court. I play basketball. Those are the three main forms of physical activity that I've been doing. And I talked about, like I said, in detail in that targeted individual gang stalking documentation video, why I got into the physical activity again. Gave a little rundown on my past and the fact that I've always been physically active and athletic. And also that I'm into holistic health and I'm just trying to stay healthy with everything that's taking place in the targeting. So anyways, y'all, so she brought up the neighborhood. She said randomly she just started telling me, I live by myself out there in so-and-so. I'm not going to say the name of the neighborhood, and it's not like y'all would know anyways, but still I'm just going to filter out the name. She was like, I live by myself in so-and-so, right? And she said the name of the neighborhood. And she said, and there's a lot of grass and bush out there, And so I think she was kind of hinting at the fact that I go out there to play basketball and the fact that there's grass grown around the basketball court that I play basketball at, which is not my fault. I'm not going to take a lawnmower and go out there and cut the grass down. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I heard noise campaign in the background when I said that. I'm not going to take a lawnmower and go cut the grass down around the basketball court. I know they saw when I initially started playing basketball, I was actually going to one of the main basketball courts out in town. But I don't have transportation like that, stable transportation. And if I were to try to ask to borrow the vehicle to go that far, I'm certain I would likely get a no most of the time. So this basketball court I'm going to is literally 5 minutes away from where I live. It's in a neighborhood that I grew up in, where my parents still own land in. And this is where I'm going to play basketball. And so unfortunately, the court is kind of dilapidated at the point, but it still has a hoop that's working and it still has a functioning court where I can go and I can get a little workout in, right? It's fun for me. So anyway, she's talking about she lives out there by herself in the neighborhood, right? Hold on, y'all. There's noise going on outside. So let me, the neighbor pulled up and there's like loud noise happening. So let me just stop the video and I'll start back in a minute. All right, y'all, I found the part of the video that I wanted to play. I can't play too much of it because I don't want to get a copyright strike. I just want to play the part where they were talking about using COINTELPRO on Martin Luther King and how they set out to discredit him, right? I just want to play that specific part of the video. Mind you, with the shadow networking AI software, you know how they send you videos, they hack all of your technological devices and they manipulate all of the apps that you use. So Netflix, Hulu, Facebook, etc. You might notice that every ad has a certain theme that they're trying to sensitize you to with their AI shadow networking software. And with this video that they sent to me at the beginning of the year, they were subliminally hinting to me what they're doing with the COINTELPRO, right? And so I just wanted to play this part where they talked about trying to discredit Martin Luther King. And y'all check out this video. It's a good video and it really goes into detail about how this program works. But I don't want to share the whole video because, again, I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Turn his attention to discrediting and destroying King and the movement he'd come to represent. Sullivan subsequently released a horrifically racist statement. In the light of King's powerful demagogic speech, we must mark him now if we've not done so before.
So I'm not going to play the letter that he wrote to King, the horrible letter. And I'm not trying to make this a race thing, y'all, because as you know, with my targeting, race has played a contentious role in my targeting because of some of the offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda that I shared in my car in Florida when I attempted to relocate off island in 2022. This is again why you need to listen to my story, y'all. So eventually I ended up back down in Florida before coming back to island. And for about a month and change, I was in Florida. For a good duration of that time, I was living in my car, being tormented, stalked, and harassed by countless individuals. And in reaction, I shared offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda in the privacy of my car that was bugged. But anyways, this is what led to my targeting going to an even higher level. It was already viral. There were 3 things that led to it going viral. The reaction that happened on the Greyhound bus with the homeless man in Tennessee. Then when I went to Indiana, the interaction I had with the police officer. That was what led to the police hardcore getting involved, because it is a government program, so they were already involved. But that was when I started noticing police cars, helicopters, ambulances, fire trucks after that interaction with the police officer. And then lastly, when I ended up down in Florida and I shared the offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda, it went to an even higher level, my targeting. And that was when they started using all of the tactics, tricks, and ticks that they use on targets, especially higher level targets, with the neuro monitoring, shadow networking software, etc. Anyways, let me come out of this, y'all. So y'all can see the title. It's COINTELPRO, the secret FBI program explained. Check out that video, y'all. It's a good video. So there's an element of discrediting. That's actually one of the many tactics that they use when you're targeted. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back to my YouTube. Sorry. So they'll purposely try to discredit you and paint these false narratives. And for me, it's just been a constant thing since I've gotten back on island in 2022. So many false narratives have arose since I've gotten back on island. And these false narratives are being used to discredit everything that I'm doing. It's not just the poetry. The poetry was the main thing that they ran with, but it was the coding. When I was sitting there and I was creating a portfolio and teaching myself how to code, they're watching me do these things. I sat there, they saw me and thoroughly taught myself how to code to the point where I was efficient enough to create a portfolio. They started painting a false narrative with that. That was a problem. My working out, they started trying to paint a false narrative with that. When they literally watched my slow progression from where I was at the end of last year to where I am now, 9 months later, right? They saw me start with 1 water bottle, then 2. They saw that being difficult for me, squatting that. They were making noise campaigns outside when I was doing my at-home workouts before I started going to the gym. I talked about that in this video, y'all. The targeted individual gang stalking documentation video. Check it out. Talking about just that slow progression and how they still, even though they sat there and watched me for 9 months, work hard to get to the point where I'm at now, still trying to discredit. So it's just something that they do. It's just like a trolling, bullying tactic. It's similar to how they come for your self-esteem, where they throw innuendos about your looks or try to tear you down and make you feel low on yourself about how you look. For me, in my specific targeting, They keep trying to throw the narrative that I don't look good without makeup on, when I don't even wear that much makeup. You know, as soon as I said don't look good, you heard the bird going, yep! Like, it's like this desperate attempt to try to get me to believe that I'm unattractive. It's not a matter of me being a confident person or me thinking that I'm all that, because that seems to anger them, me being confident. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So you can never tell me that I'm unattractive. I might be to you, but to someone else, I'm beautiful. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and it's not something that's objective. It's subjective. So it's determined by the person that's looking. So there's no right or wrong when it comes to attraction or how somebody looks. So even if 5, 10 people said I was unattractive, there's going to be another 10 that thinks I am attractive. So I have a right to move around and be confident, because what I see when I look in the mirror is beautiful. Second of all, it's obvious that that's something that's good about me, because why would you keep trying to tear me down about that specific thing? Just like how they keep trying to come for the basketball. I know that's something that's good. You're coming for that. You're coming for the poetry. I know that's something that's good. You're coming for the coding. I know that's something that's good. And now you're trying to get in my head and make me feel unattractive. It's never going to work. And trying to tell me that I need makeup to look good, and constantly sending me these different false narratives about, you know, people that are putting full faces of makeup on, and they're looking one way with the full face of makeup, and then you see the other picture and they're looking terrible. And all I do is shade in my eyebrows. I don't put makeup on. I'm not wearing foundation. I'm not wearing concealer. And I'm not coming for anyone that does, because I do think it looks beautiful when people put those things together. I'm too lazy, right? I'm not lazy. I work out and I work hard, but I'm too lazy to put the effort into something like that. I don't care that much. I'll put some chapstick or lip balm on my lips, sometimes lipstick if I feel like it. I haven't worn lipstick in a long time, y'all. I haven't had purpose to do it. I shade in my eyebrows and I comb my hair. That's it. I'm just one of those people that clean up nice. You know that term, you clean up nice? I'm one of those people. So anyways, it's just this constant thing. It's another tactic where they discredit you. They try to tear you down, try to make you have, you know, believe lies about yourself. And that's really what it is. Anyways, let me continue. I forgot what else I was going to say. I mean, why would it be something that would make you upset or angry if I'm a confident person, or if I'm happy with what I see in the mirror, if I'm happy with playing basketball, or if I'm happy with writing poetry? Why is that a problem? And why is that something that's getting you so angry? Like when I'm doing good with the basketball, sometimes the revenue gets crazy. Like and then I leave and they're pissed off. Like they're pissed when I'm happy. It's weird. They want me to believe I'm some ugly duckling that can't do anything. And they want me to be just like in a ball, you know, crunched up. They don't want me out there being proactive. And this is why I said it's a toxic program. You're going to hear me say this in the next clip. Because if you hate somebody this bad, why try to stop them from leaving and go so far? Because you know I didn't commit a crime. You know I didn't do anything wrong. So why stop the person from leaving and all this sabotage and stuff if you hate the person so bad? It's toxic. Just for them to have to end up back here for you to torment them and torture them. Why not let them leave? Why not take some of the resources that's being wasted to torment the person that you don't like? Why don't you give them the money? Because now at this point, I've been impeded. They know I'm broke. I deserve compensation. Why not just take a little bit of that money that's being wasted to pay gang stalkers, to pay for plane fuel, etc.? Just give me the money, man, and let me start over somewhere where I can be productive. Because at the risk of sounding cocky, I know that I have potential, and I know the type of person in life I lived prior to my targeting. So let me go somewhere where I can thrive, and where I'm wanted. Why keep somebody around you don't like just to torture them? And you know now they can't stand on their own 2 feet. That's terrible and toxic. Anyways, so let me continue, y'all. So that's just basically what it is. It's a discrediting thing. And I'm not meaning to just like straight up go in and say all of this. Like I'm just directing this all at this lady that was saying the thing she was saying. She's just one of many gang stalkers, and she's just going along with the program. So it's really no big harsh energy towards her. But really it was literally that conversation that took place between she and I. And then when I left, all this stupidness happening as I expected. This is how it always is. I told you all that. Like they'll see one person do something, remember they're all watching, and then the people that are getting involved, they all start to simulate and do the same thing wherever you go, right? So she and I had the conversation where she mentioned the neighborhood that I go and play basketball in. And she was just randomly saying, you know, I live there. She said, I live there by myself and there's a lot of bushes and trees around. And she said, and I see dead people. She said, I see spirits. And she said, and then she said, I saw 3 spirits. And she did this symbol with her hand, you know, the symbol that I couldn't explain until I learned about the neuromonitoring and the technology and its capabilities. And I did that weird symbol with my hand at the beginning of last year and I couldn't explain it. And for months I was just floundering trying to explain and I could not explain why I did that thing. I just knew I was angry. They kept sending subliminal messaging about death via the pool game I was playing. They kept taking the current. They kept doing noise campaigns on me. You know, I didn't understand why they were doing those things and why it had gone this far. And at this point now I was feeling hopeless because I had tried to relocate and everything was impeded. And I sat there one night after a whole day of torturing, of noise campaigns and them taking the current and them throwing the death threats at me via the pool game and doing noise campaigns outside externally while these death threats are being sent. And I said, they're so wicked. How could they do this to me? I would never wish death on them. And then I threw my hand up in a symbol. Up to this day, I could not explain what would make me do that. They've been watching me for about 4 years now, right? Prior to leaving Island in 2022, they were watching me. They were in my apartment with me. They were in my car with me. They never saw me do that symbol with my hand. All of a sudden, I relocate. I piss off all these people in the mainland. All of these higher government officials get involved in my targeting. It's at a new level now. I'm being neuromonitored. They're hearing my thoughts now. I'm having strange dreams now and neurological effects. And then randomly, I do this symbol with my hand when I get back. It doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. Let's go over to the page real quick. Let's bust that down again one more time. I don't want this video to be too long, but let me just show y'all a clip from a video I made showing the capabilities of the technology and the fact that it can control body movements. They can push thoughts in your head. I just recently was playing the video from, I think it was the end of last year or midway through last year, where randomly, or was it the beginning of this year? I believe it was the end of last year. Randomly, two of the words that they had been sensitizing me to for about 2 weeks, the touch word and the killer word, randomly a thought with those 2 words on 2 separate mornings popped into my head when I woke up, and they did noise campaign about it. And I had to put together a video. Thank the most I keep texting and documenting things. And I had text messages from a week prior where I had texted myself to make a video about the fact that they kept throwing the word touch and killer at me. And so I had sent those texts to myself prior to those 2 thoughts popping into my head randomly, thoughts I didn't think. And so I made a video about it. So they have the capability to push thoughts in your head, to control your body movements if they want, and to full on frame an individual. So anyways, let's move over to that video real quick. This video, y'all, it says evidence of mind control technology used on targets. And you see the thumbnail is of a blue brain with a big yellow microchip. I want you all to check out that whole video when you get the time. I believe that's one of the links located in the description box and comment section. But I'm just going to play a small portion of it where I'm showing you a clip that talks about the capabilities of the technology, a 17-second clip from a reputable YouTube source. And then you're going to hear me briefly and after the clip discussing the symbol and discussing the fact that a month prior to doing the symbol with my hand, I had a strange dream. Remember, they can send you dreams with the technology too. There's another video, the same video I was just referencing, where I documented those 2 thoughts that popped into my head that contained 2 words they had been sensitizing me to for 2 weeks prior, right? In that same video, I also provided documentation showing you the documents talking about the capability of the technology and how they can download dreams into your head. They can push thoughts into your head. There are patents for the technology. Hold on, y'all.
Where you at?
There are patents for the technology, y'all. So let me go ahead and put that on. I specifically talk about that in this part 1, gaslighting and programming. active abuse video. I've shared that video with you guys before. We're act before I graduated, I was getting on me my pool game, you purposes, case, and also at this point it was quite a few months ago. But like I was saying, that I heard that noise in the background, it distracted me, y'all. But a month prior to doing the symbol with my hand that they never saw me doing before, and they had been watching me for 2 years prior to me trying to relocate and getting neuromonitored, and they never saw me do that symbol. Then I piss all these people off in the mainland. I'm neuromonitored. I come home, and then all of a sudden I do that symbol a month after having a weird dream where I saw that symbol and I woke up with my ear ringing, which is a sign that the technology is being utilized on you. Ear tinnitus and ear ringing is a symptom of the technology. I have a diagram from DARPA in another video where they show you that that's a sign of the technology being used on you. Anyways, y'all, because they were trying hardcore to frame me, y'all. It's been 2 years of me dealing with that. Anyway, let me play this for you. I guess you could say sensitize me with his video because he's, there's stimuli in his video, some of the words he's saying, but the information is golden. So I'm glad they sent it to me. So before I share his video where he's talking, I'm going to share a 17-second video that he has on his page that talks about this technology.
Something called psychoelectric weapons. Now you guys might be thinking, psycho what? And what can these weapons actually do? Well, this is where it gets super scary. They can do everything from controlling your dreams, controlling body movements, induce changes to your hearing.
Y'all heard that? 17 seconds of pure gold, right? Y'all know what I've been talking about with my experience. Those of you that have been following me, about how a few months ago, at this point it was quite a few months ago, I did that symbol with my hand, and that was when they upped the ante with the physical, the things that was happening to me physically in this program. When I did that symbol with my hand, and I couldn't explain why I did it. I was just being antagonized, and I got really angry, and I threw my hand up in that symbol. And it's been months and months of me trying to freaking bounce back from that symbol, and I'm running with all these false lie-ass narratives as a regards to that symbol. And so I've been just fighting and proving my point and proving my case, and also providing documentation to prove that they can actually control your body with this technology. But not only that, thank the Most High, about a month or two prior to me doing that symbol with my hand, I had a very vivid dream. And in that dream, I was floating over this naked man. I've talked about it before. I don't like to keep talking about it. It's disturbing, but it's just for documentation purposes. Was floating over this naked man. He did that symbol with his hand. Him and I started to have intercourse in the dream. And then when I woke up, my ear was ringing. And if you know anything about this technology, tinnitus or ear ringing is a symptom of this technology. And I've showed. So I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop it right there where I was talking about the tinnitus being a symptom of the technology being used on you, right? I'm going to stop it right there where I was talking about the tinnitus being a symptom of the technology being used on you. And I'm going to go over to that video from DARPA, that diagram I posted where you can see that ear ringing and dream manipulation are symptoms and capabilities of the technology. And also, I'm going to knock two birds down with one stone because also in that video, thank the Most High, I didn't even know that this would come in handy later on down the line because I wasn't playing basketball back then. I hadn't started back playing basketball yet. This was from all the way last year. At the end of that video, I was showing an old picture I had found that my younger sister drew of me from 2015, so damn near a decade ago, where she was listing different attributes and adjectives to describe me. And one of the things she listed was the fact that I was a poet and that I was a basketball player or a basketball queen or something like that. I wasn't even sharing that picture at the end of the diagram video I'm about to go to. I wasn't even sharing it for the basketball. I was sharing it for the poetry, but now it's coming in handy yet again so I can show you that I've been doing this basketball thing for a long time. I can't believe they would ever even try to run with the basketball thing. I could possibly a little bit understand the poetry thing, but anybody that knows me knows that I used to play basketball. That's like one of the main things about me that makes me me. That's crazy. Welcome back to my channel. All right, y'all, this video is shaping out to be a little bit too long. I'm sharing the things I need to share, but I don't want it to be too long. So I'm going to just try to fast forward to the diagram, show you the diagram real quickly, and then I'm going to fast forward to the picture that I was just referencing that my sister drew of me from 2015. It was... Okay, y'all, so as y'all can see, if you look in the upper right hand corner, y'all, the second caption, you can see it says vivid controlled dreams. That's one of the capabilities of the technology. This is a diagram from DARPA, y'all, right? It was released at a freedom of speech press conference. This is something that the technology can do. And then another thing is, as you can see, artificial tinnitus. Look at well, it's really the left ear, but since the screen is showing it the way that it is, it's the right ear on the screen. You can see underneath the asterisk, well, underneath the caption that's underneath the asterisk, you can see artificial tinnitus ringing in the ears. And when I woke up from that dream prior to where that symbol was being done, a month prior to me actually doing the symbol, I heard ringing in my ears and I told my mom about it. And I was also hearing this weird thing on the fan too. Like, it's like the ringing was like, I can't explain it. And I heard another target talking about this. Something about the ear ringing, like the fan amplifies the sound. It's like this vibration in your ear. It's this really weird, strange, high science thing they're doing. Anyways, y'all, so that's all I want to show you with that. Let's fast forward to the end though. Y'all, they keep trying to come for me. I find this to be a nice picture. I thought it was a nice picture. Actually, my sister's a really good artist. This was like some chicken scratch doodle thing she was doing, and I still find it to look really good. It actually looks a lot like me, I think. And I think it's a pretty picture, but every time I play the part in the video where I say it looks like me, they fly the insect in my face again, trying to come for my self-esteem. So I guess they're trying to insinuate that the picture is unattractive or whatever. I don't know. To me, it's a beautiful picture, and I feel like it really looks like me. Or maybe because the nose looks big. I really don't know what it is. But my sister's a really good artist. And this is actually a disservice to what she can actually do. And I found it to be a good picture, and it actually resembles me. It looks like a caricature of me. But anyways, look at the attributes that she listed. This is from 2015, as you can see, right? So my younger sister's an artist. This is actually not even her best work. This is not even good compared to what she can do. I think I have other pictures in my photos that I can show you that I screenshot. She's really good. It must be in my Dropbox. She's really good. I mean, I can't even explain to you how good this girl is. This picture actually looks bad compared to what she can do as far as art goes. But I'm not about to sign into my Dropbox to show you guys that. But literally, she drew this picture of me, right? As you can see, it's from 2015, and it really looks like me too. You know, look at my pictures, you know? It actually looks like me. That's crazy, right? And look at what she wrote as the attributes, right? She wrote basketball. Remember I told you I played basketball when I was younger? Humble. I used to be humble. You know, despite what people say, I'm a quiet, laid-back type of person. It's the weirdest thing ever, this predicament I found myself in. Mellow. Like, I'm the laid-back one out of all of my siblings. Poet. You see that? Poet. Rapper. So this is to tell you I've been doing this for years. She even wrote that as attributes for me on this picture she drew for me in 2015. Rapper, poet, wow. She said Crucian, and Crucian is just the nationality when you're from the island I'm from. Awesome, amazing, beautiful, fun. So I don't need to play the rest of it, y'all, but you get the point. Y'all saw on the right side that she had basketball, she had poet, and she had rapper. So these are things that are specific to me and characteristics of me that I've had, characteristics of mine that I've had long before my targeting. They're just trying to villainize me and vilify me and create these false narratives and discredit me. But these are tactics used on all targets. Anyway, let me set up real quick, y'all. Oh, it's hot. So anyways, y'all, So that's all I want to show you with that. Just again, more evidence to show that I've been doing the I actually wish I had pictures to show you me on the basketball team. I have been playing since elementary. I was on the basketball team, on every basketball team that you could think of, from elementary all the way up to, like I said, 11th grade. And 11th grade, when I went to the varsity tryouts, I kind of chickened out. You know, like I said, I explained. Oh, I didn't explain. I explained this in the clip that I attempted to make. So I went to three different schools, y'all. And I've talked about this in prior videos. Went to private school all the way from nursery up to 7th grade. And then in 8th grade, I went to Catholic church school. And then 9th to 12th grade, I attended public school. So when I was in elementary and in church school, I played on both basketball teams. And so a lot of the times I would play against the different schools on island. And so then when I got to public school in high school, I was playing with a lot of the girls that I had played against throughout the years. And it wasn't no beef or anything like that. It's not like they were disrespectful or nasty towards me, but they already had like their friendships formed. They already knew each other. I'm a shy, awkward person. I'm not gregarious. I've already explained that to you all. In fact, I have Asperger's. So it's not necessarily just shyness. Like, I'm literally socially inept. So I didn't really know how to break that barrier and fit in with them like that. Like, anyone else probably could have came from private school and fit right in with those girls. But just with the personality that I have, I didn't know how to do it. I always felt kind of like awkward and like not really knowing how to fit in to that dynamic. And so with the JV team, with the junior team, it wasn't as bad. You know, a lot of those girls I didn't really recognize. It wasn't necessarily girls I had played against when I was in elementary school. It wasn't until I had tried out for the varsity team I realized where those girls were, because those girls were really good. They were on the varsity team. And so 11th grade, when I went for the tryout, I remember that I just felt intimidated. They all were talking and knew each other. I didn't really know them like that. And then also too, they were really good. And so I played really terrible that day. I remember for the tryouts, I just really was not playing good. I was really just feeling awkward and uncomfortable. And it was difficult. I had a bad time, you know, and I didn't show up for the next tryout. I just didn't. I just chickened out. I just decided not to do it, which I to this day regret. I wish I had stayed with the basketball, and I wish I had played in college too, because that was always my goal. My family members used to call me Lisa Leslie. That was a joke, because they knew I was a big fan of the Lakers and Lisa Leslie. Anyways, y'all, so I've been playing my whole life. It's not anything that's new to me. And I even played in my early 20s. I didn't play for college. I didn't play for any college basketball team. But I had little basketballs that I owned, and I would go to the court and shoot and dribble and all that type of stuff. And I want to say, like, in my mid-20s, I kind of just let it go. I stopped playing. I haven't played in years. I've been very real and open about the fact that I have not played in years. And so recently I picked up the basketball and I started playing again. And they saw, again, just like with the working out, it's not like I just went on the court and started doing crazy shit and making shots and looking cool or whatever it is that they're thinking. I know they saw me go on the court and I was rusty at first, and I wasn't going to the dilapidated court that I'm going to now. Initially, I was going out to town to one of the main basketball courts, but I don't have stable transportation. And so it's hard for me to borrow the car and say I want to go that far. But if I say I'm going 5 minutes to the next neighborhood, to that basketball court, it's like, okay, go ahead. I'm going for 20 minutes. I'm coming back. Or else I would take it to that other court. That other court has a way better hoop, a way better court. You know, I would, no bush. I don't have to go in the bush and get itchy. I know they see me going in the bush and it's itching my arms and everything. You know, and they're trying to create these false narratives from that. So anyways, I know they saw when I first went to the court, though, I was playing and I was not playing up to par. You know, it was just this weird thing where you could tell it was somebody that used to know how to play, but the person's rusty. Like, I still have my handles and everything. I made a video about this, y'all, a few months ago. I don't remember what the name of the video was when I first purchased my basketball, but I was shooting and I kept rolling out of the hoop. So it's this thing where I had like a straight shot. I still have my shot, but I kept getting rim, or I was getting like it rolling out of the hoop. I wasn't like actually sinking my shots. And then the more I played, the more I started to sink my shots. And the more that was happening, the more they're revving by and getting crazy. And it's similar to the working out, where I started at this level and I worked hard and I was consistent and I got better and I got stronger and I got stronger. And they keep making noise campaigns and getting angry when I'm getting better. Like, it's this weird thing. Like, it's not like I'm trying to join the WNBA. I'm 32. I'm almost 33. At the end of the year of the most ice beers of my life, I'm going to be 33. So realistically, it's not like this is going to lead to anything special or spectacular. Okay, look at them revving, but this is what I'm talking about. It's some sort of toxic energy with them. They're so toxic. Why are you mad? And why is it when I'm doing productive things you're getting angry? Anyway, so I don't really know what the issue is with me going and shooting hoops. Anyway, y'all. So, and I'm not, again, just directing all this energy and this video to that lady and this stuff that the innuendo she inserted in the convo. I'm directing this just in general to the program, because even prior to this convo I had with her, they had been like insinuating weird stuff with the noise campaigns, with the insect drones flying in my face. They have been doing that. And so then she and I had this convo earlier where she just inserted a little bit of innuendo, and then they couldn't wait to run with that moment. So anyway, after she did the symbol at her hand, because I'm getting back to this lady now, the video's is getting out to be too long. It's starting to be too long. After she said she sees spirits, and she did the symbol with her hand and said, I saw 3 dead people, 3 spirits, and of course they're revving by in the background. Then she said, and something about wearing all white. She said something about wearing all white. So let's address that. They're coming with that because I had this conversation with my older sister. This was about a month or 2 ago. They've never seen me wearing all white. In fact, I barely wear white because it gets dirty quickly and I'm working out and I'm outside all the time. My clothes is constantly getting dirty. I'm actually having to come home every night when I work out and wash my stuff, hand wash my stuff to make sure I'm smelling good. I like to make sure I'm smelling good. Right? Which, something funny happened in the gym. I'm not going to address that because I thought it was hilarious. I'm not even going to give it attention, right? Just the same stupid bullshit narrative, fake shit. But anyway, so I'm constantly making sure to wash my shit and making sure it's smelling good, right? And I'm constantly getting dirty because I'm outside working out and stuff. So I don't like wearing white. But my older sister and I were having this conversation a few months ago, and I was talking about the spiritual element of things and why I felt like something spiritual was taking place. I said, all these weird things are happening on the island. I said, I don't think anyone else has ever been targeted. And she brought up the lady. There's a lady down here. I hate that my thing is viral right now because that lady might be watching too. I'm sure a lot of people down here know who I'm talking about, and then some of the younger folks might not know who I'm talking about. But there's this lady down here that I've been seeing since childhood that constantly walks the island, and she's always wearing all white. She's an older lady, and she looks Hispanic. I don't really know what her nationality is. She's another racially ambiguous person. I really don't know what her nationality is, but she looks Hispanic, and she's always walking up and down the island. I think her hair is cut now, and she's always wearing a white dress. And so it was this thing when we were younger growing up. One of my parents told us that she dealt with like witchcraft or whatever. I don't know if that's the exact thing. I don't want to spread rumors. I keep getting in trouble for talking about people in these videos. But something to do with witchcraft or obia. I don't know exactly what the story is. I don't want to say wrong thing. But something like that, like somebody did it on her. She messed with it. I don't know what it is. But something tied to that where she always has to wear white. She told people that she always has to wear white. And so my sister brought this up when I was explaining to her that I think witchcraft was done on me. We were talking about this again a few months ago. I was talking about all these weird things that are happening to me. And I said, it's strange. And then she brought up that lady, the lady that's always wearing white. And so that's why we had that conversation about the wearing white. It wasn't anything I ever said or I ever did. But she just inserted that in the convo again to play off of the witchcraft thing. And so she said that, and the rubbing by for that too. And I'm trying to remember what else she said. So she did the symbol with her hand. She mentioned the neighborhood where I go to play basketball. Mentioned the being alone thing, which I think was a dab at me being alone, going out there. I'm never alone. Everybody's watching and they have all these insects and birds, so I'm never alone. But I think that was what that was about. She mentioned the wearing white thing, and I did she say anything else? I don't think she said anything else. A car was driving through and I took that as my opportunity to leave. I said, okay, well, a car's coming through. Let me hop in and go through the gate, because I was exhausted and I didn't really feel like the innuendo convo while they're revving by in the back and getting entertainment from it. So I just cut the convo short, hopped in my vehicle, and I left. As soon as I left, I'm seeing smirks on the people around. You know how they do? Like, they're watching like it's a movie and this is entertainment for them, somebody's personal life. And so I'm seeing, not in every car, but I always look around when these weird interactions happen because I know they're all watching and staring in their phone like this. I do always, when these things happen, look around to see the reaction or the expression on the faces around. And some people are very good at the poker face. They're good at it because they know where I'm at all times. They know that I'm in the vicinity and that I can see their face. Some of them don't give a rat's hoot. They'll drive by and their face is full of enjoyment enjoyment and delight from the moment that just took place. And so I was seeing that in quite a few cars. And then some of the people, like I said, they had their poker face on. So I was like, oh God, because I knew I had to stop to the store to get a fan and stuff. And I just knew I'd been dealing with this thing long enough. And I know how they feed off of each other. And I know how when they see one person do something, they all start to instantly do it. Predictable as ever. I go into the store to get the fan and the extension cord, and there's loud cackling at the front of the store. I don't want to be accusatory. I can't say that for sure that was for me, but it definitely felt that way. You know, as I'm walking in, the loud cackling, and then there's this little boy that looked like he worked that's walking in front of me. He's walking really slow. You know, it was just all irritating and annoying to me, especially since I'm tired. You know, I was tired. So anyways, I go in there and I was looking for the fan and stuff. Thank goodness I couldn't find the fan I wanted in the first store, but at least I was able to find the extension cord. There was a worker you remember how you wouldn't remember this because again, that was in the clip that I decided to delete. But I was talking about the fact that not everyone down here is involved. Like, you have everyone watching, everybody's privy to what's going on, but not everyone chooses to participate in the bullshit. And so sometimes I have interactions with people where I know for a fact they know I'm a target, but they treat me like a human, and they really, you would never be able to tell that they knew I was a target. So I dealt with this worker, this man that was helping me look for the fans. He was so nice to me. Like, he was really nice, and you could tell he probably knew I was a target, but he didn't act like it. You couldn't tell from the interaction. He really just treated me like a customer, like a human. And I always appreciate those interactions. Anyway, so he was somebody that wasn't involved. But then I get to the front, and of course, again, the loud cackling again. And again, I don't know if that was for me, but I'm sensitized. Remember, so every sound and every little thing feels like it might be a dab at me, because oftentimes it is. But I don't know for sure if that was the case. But again, I'm hearing the loud cackling, right? Coincidentally, right as I'm leaving. It wasn't happening as I was walking up to the front, but as I'm walking through the door, I'm hearing the loud overt cackling again. So then I get outside to the parking lot, and you have these two older gentlemen talking, right? As soon as I'm walking the talking lot, I already knew it was going to be directed convo. You can always tell when they're about to do some directed convo. They're talking, and he's like, oh, she's sick. She's not feeling good, huh? Her stomach ain't feeling good. Okay, she need to drink some this and that. Drink this so she can get better, da-da-da. And I see somebody walking by and smirking. So again, this is pushing the false narrative about that person in my close circle that's having stomach issues that's tied to her diabetes, right? So check out this part 1 and part 2 targeted individual reactive abuse video, where you can see where that innuendo started and when they started throwing and pushing that false narrative at me, because it's something that makes me very anxious. And it's similar to last year with someone else in my close circle. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Sorry about that, y'all. My supervisor was calling to see if I could cover a shift. So anyways, I was talking about this narrative that they've now been pushing at me, another false narrative about this person in my close circle that's having some sort of stomach issue that's tied to her diabetes. So please check out this part 1 and part 2 reactive abuse video that you see on the screen from 9 days ago to hear the details about that narrative specifically and how it started. But now that's the new thing they're pushing at me. Last year it was someone else in my close circle about her loss. You know, I'm not gonna say too much. You know, I get in trouble for these videos, but they were hardcore aggressively pushing that narrative at me last year, and I was getting awkward for that too, just like the child thing when they're pushing that nasty narrative at me when I was in South Florida, and I was getting anxious for that too, because the cameras are on me and they're staring at me and they don't know what that feels like. But anyway, so it's just this thing that they're pushing for this person now, and it's an issue that she's actually, an ongoing issue she had before I even left Island, was when it actually started. It started like around the time when she and I were teaching virtually. This was when I was still a teacher and COVID was happening. And so we used to all day long be on our laptops. And a lot of the time she would sit on the couch with the laptop in her lap. I don't think that's the cause of it at all. I actually think it's tied to her diabetes. For some of the things I was looking into, I think it's the harsh medication she's been taking. But this was what she said to me back then. I remember her saying that her stomach, let them do the noise campaign with the craziness. Anyway, I remembered her saying that you know, she's starting to get this like thing where she eats certain things, she would feel burning in her stomach. I wasn't acting weird or awkward about it then because I never in my mind would think that they would be tying anything to me. For me, it was just you telling me about an issue you're having. It wasn't something that made me uncomfortable until check out these reactive abuse videos when I started getting uncomfortable about it. And I'm already now sensitized and traumatized from all the other false things they threw at me last year. Like every time something goes wrong with one of them, they're throwing a false narrative at me when they have me locked up and tied down, camera all over me. They have cameras in my head. Not cameras, excuse me. They have technology in my head where my thoughts are being projected. I mean, what more can you really do? You know, how are you throwing all these crazy things? I mean, you've been watching me for 4 years. It's just weird and crazy to me. Anyway, so it's just irritating. And if I have all these powers where I have the capability to make somebody, you know, can't say because it could be a problem. I have the capability to do that. The thing with my grandpa's passing, all these other things, I have all of these powers, but I can't get myself out of this program. It's like the stupidity of it, of some of the false narratives they're throwing. It's just like, it's obvious that they couldn't really be throwing these things at me. They're obviously just trying to antagonize me. Because how could I have all these powers, but I can't get myself out of this? Something as simple as getting myself out of this program. But I have the power of life and death. I'm that powerful. But I can't get myself out of this program. It's like drool falling out your mouth. It's so stupid, some of the narratives. Anyway, so that's what it is, y'all. Just another one of these false things that they're throwing at me, and it's just so irritating. And so that's why he was mentioning the stomach thing, though, and the drinking something. I just rolled my eyes when I sat in my car and I drove off. And I went and I got my fan and I came home. I'm like, I'm gonna make a video about it. You know, it's not like I'm gonna keep making a video because this will be the new thing. Because that's what they're doing with shadow networking, by the way, y'all. They keep now sending me subliminal messaging about that person in my close circle. Last year it was the other person. Every minute sending stuff about stimuli with her. Then when my grandpa passed, they were sending stuff about grandparents. So they're just having a field day with the technology, and it's just, you know, having a field day with my anxious reactions and treating me like an animal. You know, it's just this weird, creepy thing they do. It's just all a part of the torture tactics. Discrediting, painting of false narratives, tearing you down, tearing down your self-esteem, etc., y'all. Anyway, I'm done. That's it. That's all I want to talk about, y'all. I'm going to add this to the next clip, the 47-minute clip. I just want to bust it down one more time. I'm not going to address it again because they can keep pushing whatever. It's going to be something new again. Just wait until I get out the program. It's going to constantly be new things. And I'm not going to keep making these videos, knocking it down or explaining why I'm having a PTS trauma response to being stared at on these cameras. So anyways, that's it, y'all. That's all I want to talk about. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa, and my poetry name is New Lily. If you're new, please check out the links located in the description box and comment section. And in both locations, you'll find an identical set of links that lead to videos that talk about what started my targeting in 2020, and links to videos that talk about the tactics used on targets, technology used on targets, and information about the targeted individual program in general. I have countless videos, y'all. I have at this point on my channel. Let's go over there real quick. I have this up, y'all, because I'm planning to share this video with you all. Listen to the plane flying by, y'all. Listen. If you're targeted, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that, and I don't need to say this, at this point now, if you're not new to my channel, I know you've heard me talk about the plane that flies by in several videos. But if you are new, like I said, don't start here. Please check out those links in the description box. Listen to my story. Listen to the other videos where I share info so that you're not lost with these newer videos. Because I often reference things that I've talked about in prior videos. And also to the terms that I use are specific to this program. So I use targeted individual jargon often. And if you haven't watched my prior videos and you're not targeted, or you are targeted but you're relatively new to the targeted individual program and you're just learning about this stuff, then you'll be lost or confused with my newer videos if you don't check out my prior videos. Sorry, y'all, I need to blow my nose. Give me 1 second, y'all. Those of y'all that have been subscribed, you already know what time it is. Y'all know I have, this issue where I have this chronic runny nose. Some days are worse than others. I did go and work out this morning, y'all, and it was intense. So that's part of it. You know, that clears out my sinuses. It's a good thing. But at the same time, it usually my nose runs a little bit more. Anyway, let me go ahead and blow my nose, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Oh my. I really try not to do that on video, because even if I'm open with my viewers, which I am, I'm very transparent. It's still just, gross. Like, I'm not trying to blow my nose while y'all are listening. So I do apologize for that. But anyways, let me continue. Where was I? Just got distracted, y'all. There's so much going on today. Like, that totally distracted me. I was telling you guys, check out the prior video so you can be up to date with what I'm talking about in my newer videos. I was talking about the plane. There we go. I'm so glad it's flying by again. Thank you, plane. Y'all hear it again? Listen. Now, y'all, I don't live in a war zone. I mean, it kind of feels like a war zone with what's happening to me, but I don't live in a war zone. I'm not living next to the airport. So 2 back-to-back planes in the span of 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, come on. And it's just a constant thing all day long. They use so much resources, y'all, on targets. And it's not even as bad here on island as it is in the mainland in the United States. Oh boy, they use a lot of resources. Police cars, ambulances, fire trucks, helicopters. Here on island, they just used a little small plane. In the mainland, they used a little plane and they used helicopters. And that gets me back to where I was. I was talking about the fact that if you're not a new target, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I know you've at least once or twice experienced them doing noise not once or twice. If you're targeted, you have been experiencing it, period. I know every day, at least, that's a better way to say it. I know every day at least 5 to 10 times. Yes, that figure. It really just depends on where you are. But I know at least 5 to 10 times you've heard and or seen the aircraft that they use to noise campaign and psychologically malign targets. Like I said, in the States, they use helicopters and the little plane. Here on island, they just do the little plane. And it's such a waste of resources, because you know how expensive plane fuel is? Like, for them to be funding a plane flying back and forth over my head all day long just to psychologically malign me. I'm like, why don't you just take that money? You could save money. You could literally just give me like a month worth of plane fuel, the money that you would have paid for a month worth of doing this to me. Give me the money and let me go somewhere and start over. Because at this point, I do deserve some sort of compensation for what I've been through and the employment I've lost throughout, the assets I've lost throughout the illegal targeting. I do deserve more than that. I do deserve compensation. So why don't they just give me at least a month worth of plane fuel money and let me bus off and start over somewhere else, and then we're all happy? Like, it's like this sick, toxic thing where they want to keep you in their grips. They want to keep you in the madness so they can keep torturing you all day long. And then they call you the sociopath. Anyways, it's just crazy, man. I can't get over it. Anyways, it's like, you hate a person so bad, they're so annoying to you, then help them go. Like, shit, if the person actually tried to leave and you stop them, and now the person's like, help the person, give them like the money that you're wasting on all these resources and let them go somewhere else where they can thrive. That's what makes sense to me. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, y'all. This is what they want. Let me show y'all something that I saw from another target that posted this on YouTube. Let me show y'all something, because this is just what I was talking about, just so you understand. In my prior video, the last video, the reactive abuse part 2 video that I posted. Now listen to somebody ready to rev by for me, because they know what part I'm about to read. They're satanic, some of them. They had their engine ready to rev by, because they done saw this. I had it up on my screen already, what I'm about to share with you. And the last part mentions suicide. Some of them are satanic. And they have death on their mind. And that will never be me. They'll have to kill me. I think at this point now they've realized that that's the case, right? I'm not trying to open my mouth and tell them to do that because anything could really happen. So much things happen to Target. So I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua. But that's the only way that's going to go down. They're going to have to do that because I'm never ending my life. Anyway, so let me go over there though and show you what the objective is of the targeting, because this is just what I was talking about in my last video. And there are other targets who are smart enough to have realized what the objective is. There's an agenda behind the whole program, why they're doing it in the first place. But the objective for the people at the front level that have the hate and they don't even really know why they hate you, the objective is, let me show y'all. Organized stalking is a form of terrorism. Now that's the irony of it all, y'all. Everything they accuse you of is really what they're guilty of. They're the true terrorists because what they're doing to an innocent civilian 24/7, nonstop abuse and torture, that's terrorism. Anyway, organized stalking is a form of terrorism. I'm so glad they put it in bold. Used against an individual in a malicious attempt to reduce the quality of the person's life. So they will now look at what the list is, because this is just what I told you all in my last video, my reactive abuse video. The objective. They're trying to get wrath out of you. Remember I told you that they do things like it's reactive abuse to get these horrible reactions, and then they'll act like you're the crazy one so they could throw you in the clinker or whatever, you put you in a mental institution, right? So they will blah blah blah, have a nervous breakdown, become incarcerated, same thing I said, institutionalized, so Baker Act you, say you're batshit crazy and throw you in the mental asylum. Experience constant mental, emotional, or physical pain, become homeless, which remember I was telling y'all about them cutting you off at the knees? The intent is to make you like ass out, where you can't fend for yourself because everything is impeded, and then gaslight you about your predicament. And I refuse to say the last thing. You all can see what it says. I won't even give that thing power. Rebuke it in the name of Yeshua. But that's the objective and the goal for some of them. And actually, let me not even say some of them are referred to the gang stalkers, because at the same time, they're just the face of the program. They're just at the end of the day, puppets that's being utilized by the program. But the program objective with the target is these things, right? So angry and wrathful and all day long you're flipping out and popping off. That's the objective. That's what they want. I actually saw a video with this target. It's like she ain't learned a thing yet, or she trying to learn it and she ain't figured it out yet. She's flipping out in the video. I'm seeing her eyes popping out, vein popping out the side of her neck, spit coming out her mouth, screaming at the top of her lungs, just screaming, flipping out. And I can hear slight noise campaign outside of her apartment. It was like she's like me in a financial pinch, but it's worse for her. You know, some targets have it worse. Some targets are truly homeless. And so she's getting it how she can, staying in hotels, hopping from hotel to hotel, young girl, right, in her mid-20s, beautiful girl. She had stuff going for her, and somebody that she knew very close to her threw her in the program. Anyway, so she got thrown in, and they're doing all this horrible stuff to her, and it's way worse in the mainland. I told you guys this already. In the United States, it's much worse. Like, it's already so bad here, but it's much worse. She was going crazy. She was screaming and acting freaking like a lunatic and recording herself doing it, and she put it on YouTube, and you had other targets supporting her. But at the same time, I just wanted to slap her, you know, not in a disrespectful way, but like, girl, this is what they want. You are feeding the program. This is the objective, and you're falling into it. You're doing exactly what they want. Screaming and acting wrathful and angry and like a nut. And the next step is them Baker acting her and throwing her in the mental asylum. Anyways, and that's why I think I get so much backlash, because I'm not busting down. Instead, I'm going and I'm working out. I'm trying to do productive things and figure out what I can to get out of this crazy shit. But in the meantime, I'm doing productive things to take care of myself rather than flipping out. And so I get more retribution. Anyways, let me continue, y'all. So this video, y'all, this video was a simple one. It's not one of those, major videos where it's like heavy, super heavy. I am going to talk about some heavy stuff in it just because of something that happened just now. But I didn't intend to put that in this video. I wasn't going to talk about that type of stuff. What I want to talk about in this video is just the shadow networking software, and show you an example of me catching them again with how they slipped up, how they changed videos in real time. It's AI. This is a high science program, and they're using technology in every sense of the word. right? They're using AI software to hack all of your technological devices and change videos in real time. That's how high science it is. I mean, think about it. I know those of you that have been targeted long enough to have experienced neuromonitoring, I know you know how high science this thing is. If they can hear your thoughts, imagine what else they can do with this technology. We are in the quantum age, y'all. The technological age right now. They can do just about anything with this technology. They are playing God and then some. So anyways, what was I gonna say? So if they're reading your thoughts, I mean, hacking your shit ain't nothing. It's nothing. Being able to change videos with AI is nothing. If they can actually implant and listen to thoughts and actually push stuff in your brain too if they want to, what's changing a video? That's nothing. That's easy. That's so easy. So anyways, that's what they can do. So don't feel crazy. This is why I've put together my channel the way that I did, because all of the things that I wish I knew like way earlier in my targeting, I'm making sure to document it so I can help some other poor schmuck out that got targeted, help them learn early what's going on so they don't fall into some of the same traps that most targets fall into. By the time you learn enough about this thing, you're already so wrapped up and deep in. It's like, it's crazy how this thing works. Anyway, so this is part 8, y'all. That's what this is actually, what I'm creating here now. Y'all can see on the screen I have my part 4, example of the shadow networking AI software used on targeted individuals. Remember I told you on prior videos, the last video as a matter of fact, that I have so many videos showing y'all examples of how they use the AI software to hack your technological devices and mess with everything. So like for instance on YouTube, they can send videos in your recommended with subliminal messaging in it to sensitize you, and they can even change already made videos in real time, y'all. Let me show y'all. I showed y'all in this video. They did it again. They slipped up again. I was looking at an ad for this movie with Tiffany Haddish on Paramount. That's irrelevant. But as I'm watching the ad, I noticed they did the slip up, the same exact one. It's the same getup too. They keep doing that outfit, you know, when they messing up. It's just like this blue sweater, and then underneath is the plaid shirt, and then a t-shirt underneath, right? The both times that I caught them slipping in this video and what I'm about to show you, the ad, the trailer that I was watching for that movie, it's a similar outfit. So I'm going to go ahead and share this video with y'all. You can see it's not a long video. It's only 12 minutes and 59 seconds long. I fast forwarded through the intro, so I'm going to start at 1:32. I'm going to share this video with you all so you can see when I caught them the last time and showing you an example of how they change videos in real time. And then I'm going to show you the ad with Tiffany Haddish. And then after that, I'm going to talk about something that took place just now. Again, reactive abuse. Anyway, hold on. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys. So again, y'all, just another example of how they use their shadow networking software to hack all of your technological devices and to send videos with stimuli in it to sensitize you, because this is a common tactic used on targets, and you will feel like you're going crazy if you're not aware of this technology. It's all psychological, y'all. They have the technology to change videos in real time. They can actually make it seem like people are wearing things they're not wearing. They can make the people say things that they didn't say. Like, they can literally change and alter videos with this technology, y'all. It's crazy. They have so much technology, y'all, with this program. And I've shown y'all examples in my parts 1, 2, and 3. Shadow networking videos, right? This is part 4. They slipped up, y'all. I finally caught them slipping. They used the plaid shirt. Remember I told you specifically in my targeting, one of the things they like to sensitize me to is plaid shirts. And they're doing that out of spite. Because there was this target from last year, Truth Hurts Hypocrisy America. That's just the name of his channel. Where he was, you know, he had some sort of conspiracy theory. He gave a lot of good info on his channel. But some of the stuff he talked about was more so like conspiracy theories that I didn't necessarily subscribe to. But he did talk about plaid shirts, right? And so last year when I was sharing some info about his channel, you know, and I talked about the plaid shirt thing, and I was saying I didn't really see that. You know, that was one of the things he said that I didn't necessarily agree with or relate to. They still started to sensitize me to plaid, and it became one of the main staples in my targeting. So they're constantly sensitizing me to plaid. You have people in person wearing plaid. You know, I told you in one of my prior videos, one of the main murals down here that's painted on one of the grocery stores that's been down here for decades. They painted a plaid shirt there, y'all. And with the shadow networking AI software to sensitize me, they send subliminal messaging via these videos in my recommended. They'll send me videos with people wearing plaid shirts. They don't even have to send the video. I can go to a channel, because literally what they did was they sent me a video from What Would You Do? And this is a YouTube channel, y'all, and a show that basically creates these fake scenarios, similar to like what theater is for targets. You know how they do like set up skits sometimes in person to see what your reaction will be? That's kind of how this show works, where they set up these scenarios in public and then they record it to see what the reaction will be, right? And so they sent me in my newsfeed a video, an interracial dating video, to sensitize me to race. And the reason that's happening, y'all, I told you this already, is because in the height of my targeting, I shared some offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda. I'm not prejudiced, y'all. I've said this several times. I've dated outside of my race. Actually, more than anyone in my family, I was the most open to dating interracially. I actually dated, I keep saying this, I know this sounds like redundant, y'all, but it's the truth. I dated this Colombian guy. His name was James. He was Caucasian, even though he was from Colombia. On his paperwork, when you check off what your race is, he would check off Caucasian. He lived with me. I actually lived with him, y'all, while the Airbnb thing was happening that I talked about in my story. You know, the things that preceded my targeting. What happened to me in Florida right before I came home and sent the text. He was there in the second Airbnb with me. So I'm not prejudiced. And a few years prior to that, I was contemplating dating an Asian guy. I remember even discussing that with my siblings. So there's nothing prejudiced about me. What the problem is I say offensive shit when I'm upset. And I always end up getting myself in problems because of it. I have a history of doing that. And so that's what it was. You know, I clearly explained what happened with the race thing, y'all, and the offensive stuff I shared in my car in Florida. You know, another link to check out, y'all, is my part 1. This is in the description box as well. My part 1, gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual video. That's in the description box. And in that video, y'all, I give you a detailed account of what happened to me when I tried to relocate off island. 2 years after my targeting had started, I tried to relocate, didn't know I was a target. The thing followed me. I had some reactions that caused the targeting to go viral. And from there, that's what led to me sharing the offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda that I shared in the privacy of my car. But my car was bugged. And I knew it. I shared it intentionally out of anger. But that's what led to them sensitizing me to race, y'all. So that's what they really sent me in my newsfeed. This wasn't what they sent me. It was a video from this channel. And it was basically about this white mom who had a white son, obviously, that was dating this black girl. And she was like pretending to be upset about it. And they were doing that in public to see what people's reaction would be. So I was like, oh my God, I love this show though, even though they were shadow networking. I was like, I love this show. Let me go to this channel. So I went to the channel. I just scrolled through and I picked a random video. I saw it said shoppers defend mom from another shopper's verbal abuse at supermarket. So I was like, that looks interesting. I clicked on it. You know, immediately they changed it with their AI shadow networking software and made the lady wear plaid. But they glitched, y'all. So in the very beginning of the video, she was wearing a plaid shirt underneath the outfit she was really wearing. And then for the rest of the video, the plaid shirt was not present. I even took a screenshot, y'all, because I was like, they might end up fixing it and I might not catch this on video. So I'm about to play it now, y'all, and let y'all see. And if it's not present, I'm going to show you the screenshots that I took. I'm not going to play the whole video, y'all, because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I am going to play the part where at the beginning she's wearing the plaid. You can see it looks so unnatural with her outfit. And then fast forward to the rest of the video where she's not wearing the plaid. Because the whole video she's not wearing the plaid, y'all. But at the beginning of the video, when it first started, they made her wear the plaid. So they messed up. They slipped up this time, y'all. So this is clear evidence that they have the technology to change videos in real time, y'all. I've already shown y'all enough evidence and examples. But this is more evidence to validate what I'm saying. Look at this, y'all.
They're expecting us to fall down and mess this up.
Excuse me.
Did y'all see it, right? Let me put this full screen for y'all. This is ludicrous, y'all.
Excuse me.
You see the hold up. Hold up.
They're expecting us to fall down and mess this up.
Excuse me.
Do y'all see? Oh my God, why is it letting me pause it? I'm sorry, y'all.
They're expecting us to fall down and mess this up.
Excuse me.
Do y'all see the plaid? You can clearly see the plaid, right? That doesn't even look like... I keep telling y'all, when they do this, and I showed y'all this in the last video, towards the end of the last video, I showed y'all what was happening on Facebook, because they do it to me on Facebook as well, right? I showed you the guy in the African chic with a plaid shirt over it. Looked so unnatural, right? Look at how it looks. Even though it looks real to the naked eye, you can kind of see it has like a blurred look. Anytime they do it, it has like this slight, I can't really explain, a generic look to it, right? So you see in the very beginning, they put the plaid, right? But somehow some glitch happened where the rest of the video, the plaid wasn't there and you saw her real outfit. Now look, I'm not going to play the whole video because again, y'all, I don't want a copyright strike. And I'm using the Fair Use Act to share this video for informational purposes. Again, I'm repeating what I've said in prior videos. I'm a journalist that's researching the targeted individual phenomenon and sharing things that I learn for educational purposes on my channel. So that's why I'm sharing this video. But still, just to be on the safe side, I'm not going to show the whole thing. But y'all see the plaid, right? So they showed it here at the very beginning. Do you know for the rest of the video, this lady was wearing her real outfit? And it's this same getup, except no plaid. Hold on, you're going to see. Let me just fast forward it.
The more fortunate at a food bank rise in the wake of the fear to eat diet on this mother and daughter. Small town of Picayune.
Do you think those are the best food
Look at what she's really wearing. Do you see it? No plaid, y'all. Do you see that?
Your daughter obese.
Do y'all see that there is no plaid there?
Jumps right into the
I'm not meaning to yell, y'all. I'm just so excited that I caught them slipping with this thing here.
Here we go. Here's
no plaid, y'all. Look at that.
This incredible damaging can
for the best.
And that's how it is for the rest of the video. No plaid. She's wearing that outfit and there's no plaid there.
Contribute instead
do you see that? Not an ounce of plaid. Do you see that? Oh, now they're showing a piece of the plaid. Now they made... Look at what they did. They changed it now. They made a piece of the plaid show now. All of a sudden, a piece of the plaid just showed from her shirt. It wasn't showing before. I knew they were going to do that. Now, a piece of the plaid is peeking out.
Meet who tells Jennifer she shaves Jennifer
Look at that, y'all.
away.
No plaid.
Changing lanes. Enjoy your snack.
They just made a piece of it peek out now.
Knows a
to kind of try and cover up what they did.
Eating.
No plaid, you know. In a crock pot and just
of her drop.
Would you eat? I don't know what they think of.
Is caught in the middle of. He acknowledges that people don't always make the best decisions.
I smoke. That's not good.
Wow, this
Look,
guy.
He's wearing plaid and they're trying to sensitize him to cigarettes because in that scene he was thinking about cigarettes. But anyway, now you're seeing it peeking out from her shirt. Before it was not even peeking out. Yeah, I took a screenshot. They might have changed it real quick when they realized their error. Right? I took a screenshot of that thing. I was like, what? Because I could not believe. Oh my God, look, the plaid is still there. But it's hiding. How, are they changing stuff? When I said it's hiding, y'all, I meant you could see it around her wrist. You see by the soda bottle, you see her wrist, you can see the plaid a little bit. But you're gonna see me in the as I continue speaking, you're gonna see what I'm showing you change. You can see they had the plaid shirt buttoned up, and then I think when I pointed it out in real time, they tried to act like the plaid was still there. And that's when they started showing little bits and pieces of it. But they actually had messed up. You're going to see, though. Let me continue the video. Oh, my God. Look, the plaid is still there. But it's hiding. How, are they changing stuff? Yo, this is crazy, y'all. It was obviously showing there, right? You see it buttoned up, right? The plaid shirt is buttoned here. Do you see that it was buttoned in that first scene? Right? And that wasn't even the actual scene. This is how you know, y'all, that is shadow networking. Because in the first scene, this is the scene with the little girl and her mom. Not little girl, she's like a teenager. And she's basically chastising them for buying chips instead of vegetables. When they... sorry about that, y'all. There's this like neighbor that like constantly hammers. It's just this weird thing where they're hammering constantly as a noise campaign. So I'm sorry that I hammered back. On the screen in the beginning, this is from the very beginning. You see her plaid shirt is buttoned up. But then when they actually got to showing the scene, you see the scene, right? That this is. You see the plaid shirt is buttoned up here? Let me show you something. That same scene when it actually did happen.
These snacks look good, Mom.
They do look good, don't
look
they?
At this. Tell me if
Our
her plaid shirt is
actors are
buttoned
in
up.
line,
Look.
checking out.
Do you see that her shirt is open?
Do you think those are the best food options for your family? Excuse me?
Do you see that?
You're gonna make your daughter obese.
There is no
This
buttoned up
first
plaid
shopper
shirt.
jumps.
Okay, y'all, they're trying to mess with me, and I caught it, man. You do understand that they changed stuff. You see the screenshot I took? That's what they were showing initially, and then it turned into this. Do you see that? So understand they have the technology to change, y'all. It's crazy. It's insane, y'all. Anyways, just know you're not going crazy. This is real. This technology. Y'all, and just a little backdrop on the hammer thing. You know how it's kind of like they're zombies, like some of them follow like what the others do or whatever it is. It's like they simulate and they all do the same thing. This started in the old neighborhood, the hammering thing. I made a poem. I can't remember what the title of it was. I don't remember which one it was. But one of the lyrics in it was, they want to hammer me like a nail. I was talking about the gang stalkers. It's almost like they wanted to hammer me like a nail. I can't remember which. I think it was my Ephesians that poem, I believe, is what it was. But I said they want to hammer me like a nail. And as soon as I said those lyrics, they started using hammers as noise campaign in the old neighborhood that we moved from. Somebody was literally down in the bush by my room area using a hammer as noise campaign. And now here in this neighborhood, one of the neighbors is constantly hammering. But it just starts randomly. It's not like it's throughout the day, but it's not like all day long. It's like this weird thing where it's like something sent to their head or something, and then they just start hammering. Anyways, let me continue. It's real. You're not the only one experiencing it. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out. Here go the plane. Anyway, y'all, so y'all saw that, right? That's my part 4 example of shadow networking AI software. I encourage you, or I implore you, to check out all of these videos so you can see examples of how they use the technology. It's real, y'all, and they'll make you feel like you're crazy. You know, I told y'all when I was in Florida, y'all check out my last video. When I was in Florida, when I tried to relocate off island in 2022, prior to knowing I was a target, just knowing something weird had started in 2020, and it felt like something spiteful that was being done that went too far. And so in 2022, I tried to leave. You know, I didn't think the thing was going to follow me. And obviously, you know, the things happened that I've talked about in several videos. My targeting went viral because of my stupid reactions. This is how the thing is designed. Remember, this is why I told you I do my videos, to try to save other targets before it gets this bad for them. But I had the stupid reactions that I had, and the thing blew up. But part of my anger was them using this technology on me, and I didn't know that they were doing that. So all of these gang stalkers around, you know, following me in vehicles and whatever else they were doing to me in Florida, in Indiana too, but it was really bad in Florida, and they were really using the technology on me in Florida. And so I'm sitting in my car, and constantly they're sending me, you know, I didn't know that they were doing it, but they were sending me videos with things pertaining to the false narrative that was created from me sending the text. And even on the radio, I'm turning on the radio, every station is referencing the thing. You know, and that was the only thing they were sending me. That was the only false narrative. It wasn't all the other bullshit that they're using now because of things that took place when I got back on island. This is just what they do. They use whatever they can to try to smear and malign and paint false narratives. But anyway, so this is why once I learned about this thing, this was like one of the best things I could have learned about. It was like a golden nugget. It's so freaking counteractive. Making these videos and exposing the technology, it's a major countermeasure to what they do, because they can really frame an individual with this technology. They had me going in circles. I thought it was witchcraft, y'all. Anyways, and that's what led to when I came on island, because to me, I feel like this thing is spiritual. I think it's some sort of weird spiritual thing with this when you playing God and using this technology. But that's part of why I thought it was something spiritual, because I'm like, I didn't know about this technology. So I'm like, how is it that every freaking thing I put on has this thing in it, and I know I didn't do the thing, and all these people around acting crazy? That's why I came back on island like, damn, nah, somebody did something. You know, this was my mindset. Somebody did something, all right. I didn't even know it was this technology. But anyways, so that's why I'm so adamant about making these videos and showing examples of how this thing works. Anyways, so let me show y'all now. This flipped again. First, this is the picture, right? So this is Tiffany Haddish. This is from the trailer that I watched. I think the movie's called Nobody's Fool. You can see her sitting there, right? You see the outfit she was wearing. Then it flashed to the next scene in the trailer where she supposedly had went over to a family member's house. You see it's the same thing like in the other video where she has the sweater over the plaid shirt over a t-shirt. And then in the next scene they messed up and she had the sweater still, but what she was really wearing underneath. So they slipped up and I caught them. So I did a little recording of the trailer, y'all. Not the whole trailer. That's it, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's it, y'all. So I show you that, you know, like in real time they be changing stuff. I don't want this to be too long because let me see how long it is already. Already that's like super long, 32 minutes. Let me try to hurry up and wrap this, y'all. Because I like these videos to be shorter, especially the shadow networking ones, so you can just get straight to the point and see the example of what they do and not feel like you have to sit through this long-winded video. I just want to talk about, again, them pushing the false narrative. Speaking of witchcraft and false narratives, you know, this is again an example of reactive abuse, something that just took place just now. I just want to document it. I showed you, I believe it was in this video, still struggling with transportation, where I was telling you about how they take these PTSD reactions because they're staring at you all day long, and wait for you to have the reaction, and then you get retribution for the reaction and gaslit about the PTSD reaction that you have to them using the same AI shadow networking software I was just telling you about, them sending whatever it is they're sending to sensitize you, whatever stupid lies they're swirling around about you, whatever false narratives. I have many going around about me. They're doing it on purpose. But with the shadow networking software, they'll send me things pertaining to my targeting. So for instance, an example is witchcraft. They'll send me stuff about that. Or children. I told you guys about the false narrative they created from the text. In Florida, that was all they were sending me, was stuff of creepy stuff about children. It wasn't any of this other stuff. That didn't happen until I got back on island. More things took place that they were able to use because of things that I said. They were able to use with the technology and create fake shit. But anyway, so in the still struggling with transportation video, I was talking about how difficult it was for me to even get a ride to the gym and how everything was impeded. And then now that that's the case, you know, it's like I'm not even getting any type of help to get to the gym, or I'm just asking for like a 10-minute ride to the gym, you know, to the point where I even tried to order a scooter and that was compromised. I was sent a lemon scooter. So anyways, I'm now figured it out. You know, I told y'all what I'm doing in the morning. I'm riding down with a relative and I'm getting a ride to the gym. I figured it out. But in that video, I was documenting how that same relative, she had kind of insinuated something, you know, like she came in with a camera and she was talking about, she came in with the camera and she said, I'm going to catch those bitches this year or something like that, you know, because she was having issues with a co-worker of hers, right? And so, or not a co-worker, I don't know who's doing it. Somebody that she works with. She's not sure who's doing whatever, but it seems like they messed with her chair last year, and so her chair messed up and she fell on her buttons and on her butt, excuse me. I'm using island slang, buttons, and she fell on when they messed up her chair. Somebody messed up her chair last year, and she's kind of had like this, I don't want to say bitter feud, but like this back and forth with one specific coworker. I don't think the lady would go that far to do all of that, but you know, it's just something weird is going on. So when she said, I'm going to catch those bitches this year, she made it like she was talking about that, but I know she wouldn't say that with the cameras on. You know, they know that all these people are watching. She wouldn't say I'm going to catch those bitches this year like that. She had said it right after I had a PTSD reaction to bullshit they sent me with the shadow networking software. She came in and said that. I'm going to catch those bitches this year, you know? And so I just remember getting so angry every time it happens because it's like you get blue vex when you're being accused of something you didn't do and you're receiving all this heinous treatment. You know, it just gets you livid. And so that's when I came and I created this still struggling with transportation video. And then furthermore, that same week, they came with that's what caused that, I believe. As a matter of fact, the still struggling video, it had everything to do with the next two videos that I created, the reactive abuse videos, because it was the same relative and it was around the same time. No, it wasn't, because that was from 3 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember, you have to understand these videos are far, far apart. And so they're all relative. It's the constant same bullshit that they're sending to me with the shadow networking to get these reactions. But I look at them flying the insect there. But it's hard to keep up with stuff. But this one from 3 weeks ago was that they were sending the shadow networking bullshit again about me having done something, but it wasn't specifically to her. It was just in general, sending that stupid stimulant. I had a slight reaction to it. With the reactive abuse videos I created, they specifically sent stuff about her because of text messages that she sent to me. And really what it was I was talking to her about the Havana syndrome and the hum and how, you know, they're constantly using some sort of weird weaponry. It seems like Havana syndrome. You know, I created a video about that, y'all. I was texting her at work about that. And then she said, well, I have weird stuff going on too, and you don't see me blaming people. And the way she said it was like low-key a dig, like she was kind of trying to insinuate something. And the noise campaigns happened in the back, and it created this thing. So now since that's happened for the last week, they've been purposely with the shadow networking software sending stuff about her, trying to create stuff and get reactions on camera so that I can get more punishment for it. So anyways, y'all, I know it sounds like a bunch of craziness. This is why I said check out my other videos, or else you'll be completely lost. You need to check out those 3 videos I'm referencing so you can know what I'm talking about specifically. I go into detail in those 3 videos about the family member and about what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of giving you a little, an update, I guess you could say, about that shadow networking and that tactic and that false narrative. Anyways, so that became a thing where they were sending me the shadow networking about that specific relative. This whole week they've been doing it. And it's reminiscent of what was happening last year. The family member they were using last year, the relative was someone else in my close circle that they sensitized me to. And I was having the same reactions about something I had absolutely nothing to do with. When whatever happened to her happened, she wasn't even living here on island. She was still in school. And my targeting had just started. It had been about 2 years of my targeting, and it hadn't gotten as bad as it is now. And this relative, they sensitized me to her because of stuff I said out of my own mouth. They take your words, so I said, be careful, and they weaponize it against you, and they use it to create false narratives. I showed you all that video about Martin Luther King and how they were using COINTELPRO, this program, on him. And they sent him a letter literally telling them that they were framing him. They told him in the letter. And these people had the nerve to send me a video showing me that stuff. Like, they're very open about what they're doing. Excuse me. Anyway, so anyways, with that relative, I had to create several videos to bust down that tactic until they finally stopped throwing that shit at me. I even had to talk about in her childhood how she had hernias, and that's what created whatever's going on in her. I don't want to go into too many details because this is how I get in problems. They're such gaslighters already revving by. They'll push this horrible, nasty, vile thing at you, and then when you try to defend yourself, they'll gaslight you about it and make it seem like you're talking too much or you're giving too much info, or it's just this thing they do. It's gaslighting all day long. Anyway, so it's just reminiscent of that relative. And then it was another relative last year too, an uncle I have that doesn't live anywhere near me. I've seen that uncle. I could probably count on my 2 hands the amount of time I have seen that uncle in my life. He's just a common person in our life because it's a close-knit family. Even the far distant family, especially that side, it used to be at least. It's different now. Like, especially with my targeting, I'm isolated from everyone. I've seen people doing stuff too. I've seen family members doing stuff and saying stuff, and I'm just like completely like detached. I'm telling you. Like, you see things when you get targeted, and it changes your whole outlook on life. I'm telling you. Anyway, so with him, he was going through, I don't want to say too much because then again, it's like I'm sitting here on camera telling people's business, but they literally know what they did. They insinuate that you did stuff to the person, and it's ludicrous, some of the insinuations. I've seen this man, and not even this man, don't want to be disrespectful. That's, I do love him. I have love for him. That's my uncle. It's just like I feel a detachment now, especially after some things that have taken place. I do feel a detachment. He even loaned money to my sister and I when we were in our early 20s and we were struggling. We were trying to pay rent. Remember, I told y'all we were struggling back then. That was part of the anxiety I was feeling back then. He loaned us money, right? Which we did pay back, but he loaned us money. But it's this thing where it's like, he was going through this divorce, this really bad divorce last year. And I remembered hearing, people in my close circle on the phone talking about it. And then it's like they started to throw directed convo at me and try to insinuate like I had something to do with that. I hadn't even seen him in years. How could I have something to do with that? So it's like everything bad that was happening to anyone in my family, or anybody around me, they started to try and paint it like I had something to do with it. I started to really detach myself from people after that. I started to unadd people from Facebook, unfollow people. I was like, this is crazy what they're doing. Anyway, so it's this crazy shit when you get targeted. All of a sudden, you're this bad, people you had good relationships with your whole life, all of a sudden turning against you. You're this bad person. You're this monster. And it's a comprehensive program, and they know how to recruit people. And people fall in line easy with it and start going along with it once you get targeted. They know how to malign and vilify a person and turn everyone against that person. It's crazy. people you think you're close with, because now I'm not even referring to him. I wasn't even that close to that uncle. There's a closeness there, like I said, because it's a close-knit family. So there was always communication with that uncle. It wasn't like the grandfather from that side of the family where I had probably like spoken to him like 2 times in my life. This uncle, it was a little bit more close. I had seen him more times in my life, communicated with him more. There was love there, always friends on social media, always communicating that way, always cordial, more than cordial, loving. You know, he used to support me being a basketball player and this and that. My poetry, he was hearing it before it turned into this freaking crazy thing that they tried to turn it into. And he was one of the people that was telling me I could be a ghostwriter because I'm a good writer, way before any of these false narratives. So anyway, it just started turning into this crazy, weird, creepy thing. My grandpa, when my grandpa passed, my grandpa was 89. He was an elderly man. He was 89. They're trying to create something with my grandpa like I had something to do with that too, and he's 89. It's like they're nuts. It's like they're purposely just like spitefully trying to paint everything as me, like trying to make it like I'm doing stuff to everyone. I'm like, you've been watching me for 4 years. When did I have time to do it? You're sitting in my brain. It's like they're nuts. Batshit crazy. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to issue. You don't understand. It's just a culmination of things. Like, you deal with this thing day in and day out, 24/7. You don't get a break. And every minute it's something new. And then you have these cameras on you. It's satanic, man. I cannot say it enough. I keep saying it. And the goal is, let's go back to the picture. This is the goal. And if you fall victim to it, because you are a victim, if you're targeted, you are a victim. This is a very satanic program. And it's very ominous. If you fall victim to this, then you can, these things can happen to you if you don't realize what's going on and ground yourself. I refuse to ever let any of this be me. I'm not going to get institutionalized. I'm not going to get thrown in prison, and definitely not the last thing. I rebuke that in the name of Yeshua. So anyways, that's all with that, y'all. I'm sorry, I had to vent because it's so annoying. Oh, what started that? What made me talk about that, y'all? Oh my God, I'm going off. I didn't even talk about what made me talk about that. It's because just now when I left my room, I was smelling mosquito spray when I left the room. Remember, they use mosquito insect drones to surveil you. So that's a common thing with me. I'm sensitized to mosquitoes. They know that. So smelling the mosquito spray is not what set me off. That was nothing to me. I know we have actual real mosquitoes in the house too. So that didn't do anything to me. I just went out there. I was in here with my earphones in watching stuff. I didn't even hear what was going on in the living room. I took my earphones out and I went outside. And I saw 2 of the people in my close circle talking. One of them, she came from work, I guess, for lunchtime. The same one that these reactive abuse videos are about. She's sitting on the couch, and I just mentioned to them that I have like salmon and spaghetti in my room because I realized I ate the last of the food out there. And even I'm still hungry. It wasn't much. So I don't feel like cooking because it's like I don't want to. It's like, I'm going to be real with you. I used to cook. Right? I used to cook for everyone. I didn't mind cooking and taking turns cooking. With the weird stuff that they've done, especially insinuating certain things, especially last year, the things I've been through, I don't want to cook for anyone. I'm just being real. Like you should hear what the person in my close circle said when I went out there. It's like, I'm very funny. I don't even want to cook for nobody. So I just went out there to tell them I have food in here. If they want to cook, I put it out there, but I don't feel like cooking. And the person in my close circle, like, she had an attitude with me. I don't know why. She had a random attitude with me. I kind of realized it too when she dropped my backpack in my room. I'm like, oh boy, what is it now? She had like this random attitude, and she said, you went in my room and took water out? I said, no. She said, you didn't take a bottle of water out my room? I said, no. I said, don't take stuff out your room. She said, yes, you do. She said, you do. It's just going on this kind of way. And then when she said to take the bottle of water out her room, I heard the mosquito spray to the left. I couldn't see because the wall is there, but I'm already smelling the spray. So I know it was mosquito spray. The mosquito spray was sprayed. So again, insinuating that I'm taking her stuff. And she's done this before, especially in recent times, because she has whatever issue is going on, which is tied to her. I can't say too much because then I'm again in problems. It's tied to her being diabetic, what's going on with her. But every little bad thing that happens, they want to blame it on me. I'm terrified. I just want to get the fuck out of Dodge. Because I'm like, if something bad happens to someone else, they're going to say it's me and then probably use that as an excuse to do stuff to me. It's freaking scary right now. My life is so scary right now. I'm just trying to get away. So anyways, and that sounds so apathetic, like I have no feeling or emotion, but you have to understand, it's 4 years that I've been through this thing. I used to be a whole different person. I used to be a lot more caring. I'm at the point now where I just want to detach. I tried already. And they followed me. So anyways, so she said that I hear the mosquito spray, and that's what set me off. I came in here and started flipping out. And to the naked eye, if they didn't really understand that interaction or the subliminal in the interaction, it would look like I'm just a crazy nut that's flipping out again. That's reactive abuse. That's how the thing works, where they sensitize you to certain things, and then there's subliminal messaging in the things that they do, and then it looks like you're nuts, like you're crazy when you start flipping out about it. This is why it's so important to articulate and create these videos. That's why I do it. So anyways, I started to flip out, man. I'm just like, ugh, it's just like, you can't get away from it, man. Anyway, that's it, man. That's it. That's it, y'all. I just wanted to talk about that in my video. Woo! Woo-saw, I'm good. Again, y'all, I'm telling you, I refuse to sit here and be flipping out and acting crazy. I'd rather do it in a video and talk about what's going on so I can knock down tactics. That's when I'm going to do it. Anyway, I'll talk to you in the next one, y'all. Peace out. Y'all, one more thing, you guys. I just wanted to show you all the patent, the U.S. patent that they have for the technology. So understand there is evidence and research out there to validate your experience. They have patents for this technology. There is a plethora of info out there, y'all. Just do your research, document, and that way you can validate the things that you're saying. So anyways, let me show you all a video on my channel where I have the patent posted for the neuromonitoring technology, the technology that's used to microchip you and project your thoughts. And it can also control your body movements. If they want, they can with the technology. It's called brain to computer interface technology. And they can push thoughts into your head if they want to. It's just the capability of the technology, I want to say, is almost limitless. It's very scary. All right, let me head over there. So check out this video, y'all. This is one of the many links located in the description box and comment section. I share a link to this video that's on my channel that I posted a year ago. And as you can see, the title is Patent for Synthetic Telepathy Used on Targeted Individuals. So this is Michael Barden, y'all. He's a fellow target. He's been targeted for way longer than me, for a much longer time than I have been. And unfortunately, he's one of those targets who has not been able to get out of the program. I've seen other targets who have been. I don't know what the case is with him. He used to be in the military, so I think he's a higher level target. And I think some stuff is going on with him that I don't really, but he's been in this thing for a while, so he knows a lot of info. And so he shared this patent, and you can look it up yourself, y'all. All you have to do is type it into Google. All right, so let me go ahead and share the patent with you for the technology.
President Obama, check it out. You can look this up easily.
Oh, before the patent, he's just showing you the BRAIN initiative that Obama signed. That's the BRAIN initiative. And that's the initiative he signed when he was in office to propel the use of this technology, the implementation, research, and use of this technology. Mind you, it's been way longer than when Obama was in office, but he enacted the BRAIN initiative. I'm sorry, I'm hearing so much noise campaign outside, it's distracting me. He enacted the BRAIN initiative, as you can see on the screen, which helped to propel the use of the technology. You're seeing way more targets than ever before. It's crazy, y'all. There are millions of us out there. Anyways, let me go ahead and continue.
So yeah, they've experimented with this technology on people that never gave their consent. Did I mention there's a U.S. patent for this technology? And it's right.
There you go, y'all. That's the patent. As you can see, that's the patent for the technology. One more thing I wanted to share with you all. There's another video, y'all, on my channel. As you can see, it's titled Mind Reading Technology Used on Targeted Individuals. And as you can see, there's a thumbnail from a new special where they're talking about the technology. So they're open pretty much with the fact that this exists. It's not like something that's under wraps, like how it was a long time ago. They're very open with the fact that this technology exists. So you can see the thumbnail says researchers unveil mind reading tech as the thumbnail. And so that's just a 55-minute video where I talk about the technology, I share research, and then I share a clip from the video you see in the thumbnail. All right, so check that out when you get the time, y'all. I'm not sure if I have the link to this video in the description box and comment section, but even if I don't, you can just go through my videos and you'll find it. I share a plethora of info on my channel, y'all, so you can validate your experience with my videos and with doing research. The info is out there, y'all. Anyways, talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Oh, one more thing. Oh my goodness. One more thing I want to add. More evidence that I don't dabble with those things that they're accusing me of. Recently, and I'm so grateful that this happened. Thank the Most High. I want to say a few months ago. This was about 3 to 4 months ago. I had a cousin come into town on island. And so my sister and I, we were hanging out with her. And then we went to see her brother's baby mama, my other cousin's baby mama. And so remember I told you all, when I was in my early 20s, I did struggle with alcoholism. For 2 years, I was a blackout drunk. This was damn near a decade ago, y'all. I've already turned my life around. I graduated magna cum laude, became a teacher, etc., etc. I just feel the need to validate myself because constantly they're throwing that at me. You know how they do when they try to vilify you when you're in this program. And so they take everything from your past and anything bad that they can find and try to vilify you with it. Michael Barden talks about this and many other targets. And Eric Snowden, who actually used to work for the government, he worked for the Patriot Act, and then he did what they would consider to be some sort of betrayal because he didn't really agree with the Patriot Act. I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, y'all, with stuff because this is just stuff I found out from doing research, but I don't want to become more targeted just talking about things I found out from research. I don't know anything about that stuff. I don't want more problems with these people. But Eric Snowden is another classified target that actually used to work for the Patriot Act. And so he was one of those people that was in the office siphoning through the thousands and millions of phone calls from everyday American civilians. Because remember, y'all, when 9/11 happened, the Patriot Act was enacted, right? And so that was basically where we gave the government permission to listen to all of our phone calls. So you have workers and government officials and offices siphoning through everyone's phone calls, listening for, I guess, terrorist activity or whatever they're listening for. And so Eric Snowden just found it to be too invasive. He realized that he didn't necessarily agree with the Patriot Act as he was working for it. And he saw people getting, I think, targeted or whatever it was that he said. He saw people getting in trouble for things that for things that they shouldn't have been getting in trouble for. I don't want to say too much, y'all. It's just stuff I found out from doing research. But I'm just so used to them vilifying me and creating false narratives. I'm not trying to stay on that too much. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because whoa, my brain went blank. This is crazy. What the heck? Oh, Eric Snowden. So Eric Snowden ended up becoming targeted because he didn't agree with the Patriot Act after working for it, working for the government and helping with the Patriot Act. He realized he didn't really agree with it. And so he went over to China and he blew the whistle and became a whistleblower. And so he was talking about his targeting and what happens to all targets and how they'll take the things from your past, everything, and try to vilify you with it. So that's the only reason I brought that up, to talk about my alcoholism in the past, which I've been very transparent about. And I talked about the fact that in my early 20s, I was an alcoholic for 2 years. 3 years if I'm being technical. 2 years I was a blackout drunk, so I wasn't a functioning alcoholic. Excuse me. And then there was a third year where I started cleaning myself up and I was a functioning alcoholic. So they love to throw that at me. But in that time when I was a blackout drunk, I was hanging around this cousin of mine and his girlfriend. And so we went to see this girlfriend a couple of months ago. All right. And so she and I were talking and catching up. And she was talking about the fact, I guess she's aware of the targeting and, the things I said in my full story about believing someone did witchcraft on me. I think this was innuendo she inserted, but she kind of helped me. She was being nice. She wasn't, not like she was trying to be malicious or anything. I think the whole thing is probably just funny to her, and a lot of other people. But she brought up the fact that now if we go to hang out, I don't freak out Reefy. My nickname is Reefy. If we decide to pull out a Ouija board this time, remember what happened the last time? I said, I do remember. And I was so glad she said that in front of everyone on the cameras. Because back when I was hanging out with her and my cousin, they tried to pull a Ouija board out. And I told them I freaked out. I said, no, don't pull it out around me. I said, get that away from me. I was freaking out about it. And so she was referencing that as, I guess, a play on me being paranoid and thinking something spiritual is at play. But that was more evidence that I don't dabble with that stuff and I don't play with that stuff. So I was so glad when she brought that up because nobody was looking back then. I was in my early 20s when I wasn't targeted and they were trying to pull out this Ouija board and I freaked out. I told them, do not bring that stuff around me. So I was just glad when she said that. But anyways, that's something else I wanted to add. I'm done, y'all. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. All right, peace out.